Wait, is that type big enough? These two here. This is something separate. These two here. These two amendments. The water, sewer, and the
Yeah.
building. Can these be joined in?
No,
on
no,
one motion?
nothing. No, this is extremely detailed. It
Okay,
has to be done
okay.
this way.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, thank you. All right. Okay, bear with us. We have a long meeting, but what we've decided to do, the board has already mentioned that we're gonna bring public comment to the beginning of the meeting after we go through a few functories that you're gonna have to live with us, okay? And then, that way you don't have to stay, because we do have a long meeting. This is a budget meeting. They're very technical. Everybody's gotta read everything out. It gets long. Okay, so, we're gonna begin. Do we?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
Let's see.
This meeting is called to order at 6:03. We are not going to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance because we just did at the last meeting. Okay. Deputy Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Frazier. Here. Trustee Kelly.
Here.
Trustee Martin. Here. Trustee Boyan.
Here.
Treasurer Bud.
Here.
The clerk is excused, and Supervisor McNamara.
Thank you. The first thing we're going to bring up is executive summary, which basically lays out the things that are planned to be done tonight. The consent agenda includes board meeting minutes, closed session minutes, prepaid list, voucher list, basically paying our everyday bills like the electricity. It also includes the reappointments of Bernard Grant and Peter Creole to the Planning Commission. Thank you very much to both of them. Also, Tony Gibson and Norm DeBuck are going to be reappointed to the Environmental Commission, and they all have terms to expire October 1st of 2028. We have approval of a resolution for a water service agreement with Ypsilanti County Community Utilities. It's to provide somebody with water that we can't quite, they're just too far out in the middle of nowhere. We also will have a public hearing on the 25 amended and 26 proposed budget. That's one of the biggest things that this board does each year. Our Recreation Director has an announcement regarding the 2025 Candy Loop. And the new business today includes discussion on a resolution for the 26 department fee schedule, a discussion on a resolution for the 26 water and sewer fee schedule, discussion on a sidewalk agreement with Willow Run, E-Course, and BTS Partners Development. This is approval for the Stellantis Mopar project. Discussion on a resolution to defer new applications for car washes, basically a moratorium to stop more car washes. Discussion on a request for a public hearing on November 18, 2025 to amend and restate the Van Buren Township DDA and tax increment finance plan. You're gonna miss all that. So, first order is, can I get adoption of the agenda, making one move that we move forward, Treasurer Bud, that we move forward the public comment.
Where do you want it?
Right after the adoption of the agenda.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the adoption of the agenda as presented with one change, moving the public comment right after the adoption of that agenda and before the consent agenda.
Okay. Support. Got a move, I got motion, I've got support. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so now we're into a public comment period. We're gonna put a 2-minute limit on it for each person that wants to speak. If you want to elect somebody to talk on behalf of groups of you or all of you, we'll expand that a little bit. Who would like to go first? Go ahead. Come on up. Yeah, you got to go over here. So something I did not say, you're being broadcast live on Van Buren Channel 12 television. You're also live on YouTube. But they can't hear you unless you stand at that microphone. Yes.
From the subdivision.
Of the person doing it? No.
Like to do, I just simply wrote a letter, not a letter, but a statement that, so I'd stay on point and I don't drift away. So thank you for allowing us and the families and residents of the Seymour and Troster Motor City neighborhood to meet with you. As you know, we're meeting in regard to the homeowner located at 44336 Robson Road, Dustin McAllister. We are concerned this drift track has been developed adjacent to our residential community, causing numerous complaints. The track as well has been established in close proximity to our homes and the storm drain. There are numerous issues, complaints, and concerns. Prior to September 6th, Mr. McAllister advised the police department that there would be an excessive noise due to an event at his home. This event caused numerous complaints directed back to the police department. On this particular day, Officer McGregor received a formal complaint from a Crowley resident. It's his understanding a citation was entered. That very evening, a vehicle was driving through the neighborhood with loudspeakers that was so loud you couldn't understand the verbiage. Also that evening, an unidentified truck parked in front of the Crowley's neighbor's home, spinning wheels, throwing gravel, and leaving a 6-inch tire rut in front of his home. On September 23rd, Officer Mowbray took another complaint from the Crowley neighbor, again citing loud screeching noise from said track. Officer Mowbray said there had been another complaint and he was on his way to Marlow or Maida to take complaints. Officer Mowbray said he would be citing the track once again. Later that same evening, the Crowley neighbor saw a truck parked in front of his home revving its engine. We can't confirm anything but what we know. The numerous complaints have been heard as followed: screeching tires, drifting smoke of burnt rubber, crashing metal, endless high decibel engine noise, numerous cars parked on Robinson waiting to enter driveway, which is gated, track adjacent to numerous residential neighbors, revving engines, flooding properties, property value, safety and environmental issues that also affect the wildlife. These issues just touch on the numerous complaints within our neighborhood. If necessary, please include us in the next township meeting docket. Once again, thank you for hearing our voice in this matter.
Thank you.
Through the chair, what was that address again? I'm sorry, ma'am.
Robson,
Yes.
44336 Robson. And I have been in touch with the Wayne County Commissioner who was supposed to visit the township yesterday. I'm not certain he has. He had major concerns on the environmental impact as well. So I'm going to follow up on that call again tomorrow.
How often do they race? Is it every night thing?
They've been stopped. They've been told to stop and desist by the township and police department. They were, I don't know, you hear noise, but two huge events where they were very loud.
Does anybody else come on up to speak? And Ron, I'd like you to get ready at the end of this to go through the process that the township is legally bound to do.
So this young man has a YouTube and Twitter account, and he has stated how he wants to rent this out. So you're going to rent this out, so not only would we hear it Friday and Saturday nights till our ordinance of 11 p.m., we could hear it during the day, through the week, through the weekends. I bought out here for the peace and quiet. I love seeing the nature that comes in my backyard. I don't want our environment plagued with this. It affects my health as a diabetic because the stress, it really hurts my health. I could hear it sitting in my bedroom with the TV on and my windows closed and the air on. And it sounds like people are drag racing up and down Ecorse Road. So, but you can find them on YouTube. and watch his videos.
We have.
And it really bothers me that the one about the police tried to shut me down, and the police says, "Oh, as we get calls, we'll call you." How is that protecting the public?
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's in his video.
Who's, yeah, you can come on up. Yeah, just, in fact, if you guys both want to come up and line up, that's fine.
I'm Stephen Domer. I'm the Crawley Road resident.
Oh.
I'm going to try to play for you. So we had heard this like a couple weeks earlier and just thought it was something that wouldn't be recurring. And then it started up this particular weekend. I believe it was like Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. I'm a block and a half down on Crawley from this gentleman. Let me see if I can do this.
Hold up the speaker.
It's on my deck in my backyard. All afternoon Friday, well, off and on. He doesn't do it constantly, but they'll start up and then they go for a while and then they stop.
We have that clip.
Yeah, the police has it. So it's intolerable. It's absolutely intolerable. And then following that, like I think it was a week later or whatever, because the police did go down and cite him, and then all of a sudden, like 40 minutes, I formally filed a complaint, so they went down and they cited him. And about 45 minutes later, a big truck, like Paula was explaining, came down in front of my place and just ripped gravel and everything. I mean, it's like a six inches deep, this rut is. I mean, you can drive by there now and it's still there. So it's pretty upsetting that we have to deal with that. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, so that, obviously it's a nuisance. Whatever I have to do or however I need to be involved, I'm willing to cooperate. And if I need to go to court or whatever, I'm willing to participate in that. I'd like to talk to the gentleman, but from what I understand, he's not necessarily cooperative, so that probably wouldn't go well anyway, so.
I gotta think it wouldn't.
One thought I had was several days later, he started up like on a Tuesday, and I was actually in my house. It literally sounded like a 747 flying like really close over the top of my house. I didn't even recognize, it's a different noise on the inside of your house. It sounds differently. And I came out and I was talking to my wife. I'm like, what is that noise? And then my neighbor called and said, oh, he started up again. So then I made the connection that he was doing it again. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Come on up. Anybody else want to speak on this? Come on up.
Hello, my name is Joyce Hagerman, and I live on Robson. And when they're doing these races, they even fly down Morton Taylor to Robson, and what's it called? What kind of racing? They even drift. They even drift around that corner. Well, we have children and grandchildren in the neighborhood, and they just do not care. Plus, this track that he built, they have food trucks and everything back there. So he's opened this business in a neighborhood. If he wanted to do this, he should have went to Grass Lake or somewhere where there's property, not in our neighborhood. And I've heard it the one time, like Steve said, that it sounded like a plane going overhead really close. That was the only time I was home, and I'm like, what is that? And it's so annoying. But like I said, he's made it a business, so
Yeah.
how was he even allowed to have that back there? And then so when somebody makes a complaint and they go to the house, the home residence, do they tell them who made the complaint? Because how did they know that Steve done it?
Is it?
Yeah, so we're getting, retribution for wanting a quiet neighborhood.
Yeah.
A drone at my bedroom window at 12:30 at night about 5 weeks ago.
And
What?
I've heard that, a drone. They have
Oh.
drones flying over, like, to see who's out there watching, or, it's just all bad.
You can't do that.
No, what you're doing is what you need to do. I mean, this works. Come on up.
So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Devin Petty. Me and my girlfriend have been walking. So I live on Robson Road as well, but I've been walking as far as like Ecorse and Haggerty through the subdivision adjacent to our subdivision of the newer houses. And it still sounds just as same as how Steve's recording sounds, to where it almost sounds like the cars are right around the corner, more or less. At one point we drove around trying to find where this was at just because it was so loud and all encompassing. And I know that, like, especially obviously we're talking about it as being a noise nuisance, but I know that definitely affects other people's like mental health, because your home is like your place to be quiet, protected, calm. And for me, like, I know like that affects me, especially because I'm a combat veteran. I'm a disabled vet. I've done a tour in the Middle East, and I know that like that kind of stuff does engage my PTSD. It does make me worry because I don't like hearing the noise of like crashing metal, tires squealing, and or like, this feeling of uncomfortableness within the community I pay, money to have this house in, that's quiet nature, kind of grounds me, rather than the sound of like roaring engines, tires squealing, people crashing into the tree line when they don't hit their drift line right. And like, I'm a car guy as well. I just think there's a time and place, and especially a location where this should be done at, and it's not in a residential community. I just wanted to mention that it can be heard substantially further than just our subdivision within Robson Road. That's all I gotta say. Thank you. Yeah, no
Thank you very
problem.
much.
Thank you.
Service.
Anybody else like to speak on this? Come on up. At the end, I'll have our head of municipal services. He's over our building planning and ordinance and stuff like that. And I have our ordinance, but he knows them all.
And I live on Marlowe, and the day that I called, I was in the backyard running a line trimmer, which I'm a mechanic. I was running a line trimmer at full blast, and you can hear the tires screeching over the line trimmer, and I'm hanging on to the line trimmer. I drove the lawnmower, was mowing the grass. I mowed to the back of the yard. It was so loud, it's unbearable screeching. I shut my lawnmower off, called the Van Buren Police Department. They put me right to the supervisor. The supervisor told me that they had a permit to do that day for a memorial. And that's what he told me. So I sit there and I'm talking to him, and I says, there's no way that you guys would allow that. But that's what the supervisor told me on October 6th. I had him, I says, can you hear that? And I had my phone. He could literally hear the tires screeching and all the noise through the phone. And I'm probably one of the farthest neighbors away from it. It's just unbearable.
I think you probably all know what we're doing. So, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak on this? Director Akers, could you come up and tell them the process that we go through on ordinance and what our position is on this one right now?
Sure.
And also, they need to know a timeline because people think that we're going to be able to fix it tomorrow.
So, with the ordinance enforcement process, the first step is always issuing a letter or notice of violation, which has been hand delivered to the property through one of our Van Buren Township police officers. we've involved in the conversation, we've involved our police department and our prosecuting attorney and everything. The activity is a violation of township zoning code. You don't allow those type of uses in residential zoning districts, which is where this is at. So we've issued a violation notice. We have a meeting with them later this week to have a discussion for how they're gonna bring the property into compliance. Depending on how that conversation goes, we're gonna be potentially involving our prosecuting attorney and pursuing enforcement through the court system. If we have to pursue enforcement through circuit court, it does take a bit of time because we do have to get court dates, we do have to get things taken care of. So I don't want to, promise everybody we're going to be able to take care of this tomorrow, because unfortunately, if we do have to go down that route, we have to work through Wayne County Circuit Court, and to get before judges, and that does take time. So what I would recommend and what I would encourage people to do is, if there are noise issues, continue to contact the Van Buren Township Police Department. I know they've been issuing citations for noise. If there's any other harassing or threatening behavior, certainly document it, contact the cops, any of that stuff can be addressed, and rest assured that we're going to be working through every available option to make sure that this property gets brought back into compliance with our code. So we are working on it.
However, can't you issue them like a citation or something where they cannot hold these races until this is all settled?
We can send them an order, we can send them a cease and desist order through our code. They can choose to ignore our cease and desist letter, and we'd have to go through the courts to get an injunction for them to stop. So again, I don't want to speak, because I'm not an attorney. I don't want to speak for how exactly and what we can do, but I will make sure that as we're working with our prosecuting attorney, we convey the timeliness that people expect out of us.
What does he need to do to bring it up to code? Does he get to keep that track back there?
No. No. Our position in this instance, because he received no zoning approval from the township to be able to do that, it's hard to envision the track being used for anything other than a track. So our position is that we expect it to be removed. Again, that'll have to play through the courts, but if that is where we go, but that's our position.
How do I rectify the flooding issue that he's brought in 38 yards of stone and put a track in? I'm 186 feet east of him, and when it rains, my back portion of my acre is ankle deep.
We have to look, we're gonna have to take a look at it. I know we've talked about it before. The township doesn't specifically has an ordinance which deals with drainage issues between neighboring properties, because it's really, you need to get a civil engineer involved. You need to look at what the activity was, how much of the flooding it caused, what the issue, and there's a number of challenges with it. I'm certainly willing to meet with anybody to discuss it. We can look and see how much filter it was added, and we can offer some ideas. If they impacted regulated wetlands, or if they impacted environmental items that were protected by the state, they could be, yes.
Go ahead.
People can't hear you if they don't come to the microphone.
You can contact my office. You can contact me. My information's on the township website, or if you find me after the meeting, I can get you my contact information. Sometimes these court cases don't proceed as quickly as we would all like, but you're certainly welcome to call me whenever you have questions about what's going on, and I'm happy to provide an update.
So years ago, this board instituted a set of ordinances and rewrote the state ordinances into Van Buren Township ordinances. And the reason we did that was to be kinder and gentler about ordinances, so that we could give people warnings and we could take them to a local court or local judge. We could work things out and make things work out fine. If that didn't work out, then we hammer them with the hardest thing we have, which is the Wayne County Circuit Court ordinance. That's the one we're dealing with. That takes time. It's got a lot more teeth to it. Ours is to work things out amongst neighbors. I'm not certain that we're going down that path. So,
If you do go to Wayne County Court Circuit,
they'd love to see you. Sure.
It's by video.
You could keep updating, interacting with me.
Organize amongst yourselves and so that we can filter it through the quickest way. This board, time and time and time and time again, has, when the courts have decided that somebody needs to take action to repair a wrong, and they didn't, this board has a dozen times, if I can count them, gone and told the government to go and do it. And we go do it, and we just slap the lien on their house. I don't know, we don't do anything until the courts tell us, but well, when the courts say that we've got that right, this board has never hesitated. Never hurts. It's always good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he oversees, you don't realize this, but Wayne County Commissioners oversee the court's budget. Yeah. All right. Okay, I think that's good. So we are about to go into one of our most technical bureaucratic moments. If you would like to go home, you can.
I can't believe a cop told them that they had a permit to do that.
I don't either.
Well, you need to talk to,
It's the first I've heard of it.
you need to talk to Jason to find out if that actually happened.
Yeah. I mean, I seriously don't believe it.
I don't either, but
Yeah.
why would they?
You're right, I should take it credible. I should
Yeah.
make it credible and double check. Okay, we're gonna be starting up again. You guys are gonna have to step outside. Thank you very much. Board, we are at the adoption of the consent agenda. Trustee Boynton, could you read?
Through the chair, yes, I will. I move that we accept the following items on the consent agenda. Board meeting minutes of September 16th, closed session meeting minutes of September 16th, prepaid lists of September 18th and of October 2nd, and the voucher list of October 7th, all of 2025. Approval of reappointments of Bernard Grant, Peter Creel to the Planning Commission, and Tony Gibson and Norm DeBuck to the Environmental Commission, all with terms to expire on October 1st of 2028. And approval of Resolution 2025-32, Water Service Agreement with Ypsilanti Community Utilities Authority.
Can I get a second? Trustee Martin. I have a motion. I have a second by Trustee Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is the public hearing. I have to talk to me. So I have to make a motion to go into public hearing? Is it a roll call?
No.
Okay. Can I get a motion to go into public hearing?
Moved.
Support? Kelly? Have a motion, I have support. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We are now in public hearing to receive public comment. We are receiving public comment. Okay. We're receiving public comment on the 2025 amended and 2026 proposed general fund budget, on the 25 amended and the 26 proposed special revenue budgets, on the Downtown Development Authority budget, on the Local Development Finance Authority budget, on the Landfill Fund, on the Belleville Area Museum budget, on the 9/11 Service Fund, on the Federal Forfeiture Fund, on the State Forfeiture Fund, on the Long-Term Debt Fund, and on the Capital Improvement Fund. Is there anybody wishing to come forward and speak on any of those funds? Hearing none, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Through the supervisor, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
Treasurer Bud, Trustee Frazier. Hearing no discussions, all in favor of closing? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. We are now into correspondence, announcements, and presentations, and I know Nicole's here. You've got something, right? Yeah. Get ready. My calendar came up this morning and it said, don't forget to buy candy. I gave out 1,900 pieces last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you don't buy early, you're stuck in the, Arbors and Rite Aids.
Yes, we want the good candy. So next Saturday, so not this Saturday, next Saturday, which is October 18th, we invite you all to step into a world of wonder at this year's Candy Loop. Follow the trail through Quirk Park for a fun-filled trick-or-treating adventure. You might even spot a few familiar faces from Alice in Wonderland along the way. This free family favorite event is made possible thanks to the support of over 25 businesses and organizations who help bring the magic and the candy to life. It is Saturday, October 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. We invite everyone to use the parking lot available behind the Van Buren Community Center for this free event.
Yay, my favorite event. All right, does anybody else have any announcements that they want to make? No? Okay, does anybody from the public that has any announcements that they want to make? Nope. All right. We're moving on then to unfinished business, which we have none. New business. Discussion on and to consider approval of a resolution 2526. This is the 2026 departmental fee schedule. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Trustee Martin.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26, the 2026 departmental fee schedule.
Support. Trustee Kelly. Okay, we've already gone through this in private. Does anybody have any questions on this? Not in private, in workshops. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to call for a vote. Got a motion by Trustee Martin, supported by Trustee Kelly. Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Okay, next item is discussion on to consider approval of a resolution 25 through 27, the 2026 water and sewer fee schedule. Director Lawrence, are you here? Come on up, but can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Yes.
I move to consider approval of resolution 2025 through 27, the 2026 water sewer fee schedule.
Washington. Director Lawrence, could you tell us about the water and sewer fee schedule?
Sure. Basically, based on our recommendation from our rate consultant, there's a proposal for an increase for 2026. The recommended increase is 6% for water, 4% for sewer, but the overall increase combined would be 5%. I got a little sketch here. So basically, the average residential quarterly bill for 15,000 gallons usage for a 5/8 meter, the total dollar impact would be $9.32 per quarter. So if you have a 3/8 meter, it would be $12.62 per quarter. Most of you guys, I kind of looked at you got 1 inch line. So the 3-month impact for your meter would be $15.92. That's based on the average use of 15,000 gallons per quarter.
Remind me again, what was the increase last year and the year before?
There were no increases.
Okay. We've done well and very well. We still have one of the lowest, right?
Yes.
How low are we?
We are the third lowest.
Third lowest in Southeast Michigan?
And Livonia that are currently lower than we are.
right, does anybody have any questions? No? Thank you, Director. All right, I've got a motion by Trustee Kelly, supported by Trustee Boynton. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is to consider approval of sidewalk agreement between the township and Willow Run. Can I get a Willow Run and BTS Partners? Basically, it's a sidewalk agreement with Stellantis. So, can I get a motion?
Through the
Trustee
chair,
Frazier.
I make a motion that we pass the approval for the sidewalk agreement.
Okay. Second?
Support.
Trustee Kelly. Director.
Thank you. Good evening, Board. The Township zoning ordinance requires the installation of sidewalks along public rights-of-way. During the review process for the Stellantis project, there have been several discussions and recommendations regarding sidewalks along the site just because of the sheer size of the property. The applicant will be installing a sidewalk along Denton Road from their drive entrance to the northern property boundary, which abuts the Denton Village area. And the applicant has already received variances to forego installing sidewalks along the E-Course Road frontage and the southern half of the Denton Road frontage. The proposed sidewalk agreement that's before you is regarding the installation of sidewalks along the Beck Road frontage. There are future plans to pave and widen Beck Road from E-Course Road to Michigan Avenue, and we anticipate that this could occur sometime in the next 10 to 20 years. In order to avoid having to remove the sidewalk at the future date when the road work is completed, we have come to an agreement with the developer to make a payment in lieu of installing a sidewalk along Beck Road. In exchange for a fee that's listed in the agreement, the township will agree to take over the obligation for the installation of the sidewalks at a later date when the road is expanded. This arrangement has been reviewed and recommended by the Planning Commission as well as the township attorney. This concludes my summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions? Okay, I've got a motion by Trustee Frazier, supported by Trustee Kelly. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you. Next item is discussion on to consider approval of a resolution to defer the review of new applications pertaining to automotive wash establishments under the township zoning ordinance, a moratorium on car washes. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair. I move that we approve of Resolution 2025-33 to defer the review of new applications pertaining to automobile wash establishments under the township's zoning ordinance.
Trustee Martin. Director Akers, talk to us.
Thank you. So over the past several months, the Planning Commission and Township Board have seen a considerable amount of interest in building new car wash establishments, primarily along the Belleville Road corridor. During these reviews and discussions, there have been concerns raised regarding the concentration of these establishments and its impact on traffic and other businesses in the area. Based on this, we're requesting a 6-month moratorium to allow staff the time to study the issue and provide recommendations to the Planning Commission and the Township Board on how to address these concerns and situations. These moratoriums are intended to defer the consideration of any new applications. Any existing applications or projects that are currently under consideration will be allowed to continue the review under our existing ordinances. That concludes my summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Okay. I have a motion by Trustee Boynton, supported by Trustee Martin. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This motion passes.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. This next item is five. A discussion on to consider approval of a request for a public hearing on November 18th, 2025, for the purpose of amending and restating the Van Buren Township Downtown Development and Tax Increment Finance Plan. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Kelly.
I move to consider approval of a request for a public hearing on November 18th, 2025 for the purpose of amending and restating the Van Buren Township Downtown Develop Authority and Tax Increment Finance Plan.
Support.
Treasurer Bud. Okay, Director Oh, it's Dr. Coburn. Surprise, I was.
So just a little background on the purpose of why we're updating our plan. So our current DDA plan does not expire until 2038. However, the last time that it was updated was in 2009. So since 2009, the district has seen substantial growth. So part of that project, the update of the plan will be to update the tax revenue spreadsheets to show the increase of revenue that we have saw in our budget, as well as to update our cost estimates of projects that we've not yet completed, as well as to update the development plan to incorporate some projects that have come out of the corridor study and state safe streets due to the growth in the district, to measures to calm some traffic and other things that were listed in that corridor study. So with that, right now, currently, we have our Development Area Citizens Council established. They have met for an education series to get an understanding of the update and what it requires on their behalf. They will meet with the DDA board at the next meeting to discuss the draft plan that we have put together. Those boards are now currently reviewing that as well, but they'll come together to do that review and comment together. From there, that would be finalized and then brought for the public hearing. As part of that notification for the public hearing, every resident or property owner, all 1,100 of them, will be in the district, will be notified of the public hearing, so they'll have an opportunity to review that. Also, the notice will be posted to in 21 different locations within the district, as well as notifying the tax entities, Wayne County, the parks, the college, those of the notice of that. One of the things I just wanted to stress is we are not amending the boundaries. The boundaries are staying the same, and the plan itself is not being asked to be extended at this time, but that will be something that we will definitely be looking at in the future, knowing that some of the projects that did come out of that corridor study will take some substantial time for us to collect revenue, longer than 2038 to implement them. So, but I appreciate you setting that public hearing, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Anybody have any questions? No. Stay up there, though. Hearing no further questions, I have a motion by Trustee Kelly, supported by Treasurer Budd. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This motion passes. And I want you to stay up there for a second, because I think it's time that they got a board update on Belleville Road, because of the newness of things happening. In fact, Dent Road should probably be updated too.
We've had some substantial challenges with the Belleville Road widening project. One being, as we've been working through our environmental approvals, one of the things that came out of that was we were required to do an additional wetland study on the corner piece of the property. And so we have done that. We have gotten that approval, as well as the wetland credits that Wayne County needed to apply for as part of that. So that has all been taken care of. One of the things that is holding us up from being able to obligate our funding that we had received, which is not in jeopardy of being lost, there was an oversight on the application that was submitted back in February for NEPA, which is the environmental agency that would be giving that approval. That box was missed by no fault of us as the township or our consultant. It was missed by the coordinator at the state level, which then led to the Federal Highway Administration not being notified as well, which leaves us in the predicament that we are in with the government shutdown. We still do not have our NEPA approval. Prior to that shutdown, we were about 2 to 4 weeks based on their review timeline that it would take for us to get that. And going into our second week of the shutdown is definitely putting us behind on that. As part of this project, Wayne County did have funds in the amount of $90,000 from 2022 that they had reallocated to this project to use towards that. Because of the portal through the federal highway, Wayne County has lost those funds. They had a 3-year window to be able to obligate them, which those funds were above the beyond the funding that we had gotten, the 7 million for this project, which our 7 million has still that 3-year window. We are working with MDOT, who is also working very closely with the Federal Highway prior to the shutdown to get this to move as fast as possible to get that, so that we could work with SEMCOG and MDOT to get that tip amendment that'll have to take place, obligating it from 25 to 26, and then with the 3-year window. So it has definitely been a challenge, but Wade Trim has been enormously helping us through this. But until they reopen, we don't have an approval in place.
Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully when the government comes back, we'll get it in the next 4 weeks, but I don't know, they could have let go of that guy that signed those documents, and I don't know what's gonna happen. That keeps on happening to us, it seems, but. Okay, Director Eaker, could you give us an update on the Denton Road Bridge? We had a progress meeting a week ago Thursday, and it's kind of settled into concrete a little bit, or asphalt.
Yeah. So the Denton Road Bridge is under construction. Both of the abutments are in and poured. They're actually going to be pouring the deck, the concrete deck of the bridge this month. We asked about scheduling, because I know that's one of the concerns that everybody had raised. We asked about scheduling at the progress meeting, and the contractors had let us know that they don't anticipate the bridge to be open prior to the end of the year. One of the challenges that they have is that the asphalt plants close on November 15th, or around November 15th, seasonally, and then they don't open back up to the spring. The contractors aren't confident they're going to be able to get the block retaining walls up on the west side of the causeway in time to be able to pour asphalt for the bridge to open before the end of the year. So the updated date they gave me was June of 2026. And so that's where we're working at schedule-wise. Aside from that, the block walls are up on the causeway on the east side of the bridge. We're having discussions about the coloring with them right now, so we're still working through that with them, but the bridge is under construction. It's still moving.
Great. Okay, does anybody else, okay. So, thank you, that would be it. Reports, we have no reports today. Is there anybody that wishes to speak from the public on any item? Nope, hearing none. Anybody from the board wishes to make comments on anything? I have one short one. I'm pretty proud of our state representative, Reggie Miller, Ranjit Puri, and we got a $750,000 allocation that, quite frankly, they tried to take it back from us. We did work with Representative Matt Hall, and he did us good. So we got our $750,000 for the Quirk Road, Belleville Road intersection improvements. Ranjit Puri originally got it for us, and is just, we got it the last day of the vote, and I don't know what Ranjit was thinking of, but he gave it to the city of Belleville, and obviously Quirk Road and Belleville Road isn't in Belleville, so the Republicans were clawing back everything they could, and they were taking dead aim at this one, so we almost lost it, but they reapportioned it, and we got it, so it's there. We're going to spend it. Anybody have any comments? Yes?
The pancake breakfast thing for the firemen on Saturday morning.
Yes. I'm not sure what time it starts, 9 or 10? My favorite thing, pancakes and sausage, and they have the dog there and the little robotic fire hydrant. Oh, it's cute. All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Supported? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Hey, you guys.